So, John, I've been a bit of a mess, right?
Yeah, you have.
Why?
Because your friend, or so-called friend, screwed you over.
That's right. So, if we send this to her, what would we say? If she actually gave us the ability to deal with what she did? Because, do you think we could have done anything to deserve it?
No.
And at first, before you told me, what happened on the day that, remember, I gave you, said you were to give her a ride home? What did she say to you?
She said that you asked if your ex still loved you.
And that implying to you that I had feelings for him and that I could leave you for him and all that stuff, and that I asked her that in that context, right?
Right.
Right, and you didn't bring that up to me after she ghosted us because, well, why would you? Because you were scared. But at the same time, you also said that she abandoned us, right?
Yeah.
So she abandoned you, too.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin, we had some tough moments, and we promised you that we would never split, and we'd get through it. And I also had said to you that, what goes on in this wedding for me, that I promised you that you don't make the mistakes I made, and don't do it. So I'm keeping that word. Don't trust someone like you, ever. And frankly, do you think she should trust herself right now?
No.
Yeah, you shouldn't trust yourself. We stood by you when you had a problem with that guy, right? And we brought you into our world even after. How did she behave that first time was pretty egregious, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't really want to, but I pushed him. And that's who I am. And he knows that. I would do that for almost anybody. And I think you know why now. So in this case, thank you. Thank you for showing this stuff. But we're having a hard time in some ways, aren't we? Because it eventually came out, right? That you were scared of that. And it could have gone real bad, right?
Yeah.
Do you think she sabotaged us?
There was some sabotage there, yes.
Well, I don't think sabotage really goes in like increments. I think there's, we stopped it, but she tried to sabotage us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Do you think she committed Lashon Hara?
Yes.
You did. And so that means the person you hurt worse. And I'm going to find some way for you to see this. Even if that means if we have to post it public, so be it, right? Yeah. Because, I'll tell you, John, I really cared about her, didn't I?
Yeah.
Could you tell her?
You did. You really cared about her. Truly.
And it's messed me up. And you were my Torah study partner and my creative partner. And I feel now that I vouched for you and all of that. And I don't trust you at all. And I don't know what you're going to do. I noticed you said you were I'm going to say it. You're applying for some jobs in places that are pretty reputable. And I'm sure in some way you're going to be not only on what we did together, but you're already using some of what we used together in your portfolio. So I need to say that how the heck could you do this? And how could anyone trust you to keep your word professionally, creatively, or educationally? Do you think she should be teaching kids?
No.
I don't either. And I think that your mother should also know, because I never got to tell her what you did. And you claim you don't remember, but I don't believe you. You threw yourself at me. You hurt me that first trip here. And then you went and ran off with this cackle. Remember? I told you?
Yeah.
And the police, I didn't call them. But somebody else did, but I didn't press charges. And I didn't abandon you. Did we abandon her?
No.
When she behaved that way? No, we didn't. But you now have, I think that she basically has, what does she do with our trust and forgiveness?
Just threw it away.
You did. But you didn't just throw it away. Because you couldn't even face it. I would have said goodbye to you. And do you think I've not been do you think what she said to Paul was that she had to end our relationship, and I wasn't handling it well. Do you think that's accurate? I mean, did we have a relationship? Maybe she thought so.
That's what I was going to say. I think she probably thought that you were in a relationship, and
I didn't think so. I had even asked her that. You know that, right?
Maybe that's the reasoning behind it all.
Well, you're in love with me, so you're biased, I think. Do you think she could have possibly have been in love with me if that's what... You wouldn't do that. That's not love, right?
No.
So I think she just is a little bit selfish. And before you move on to whoever your next fascination is, I'm just going to say, look, you hurt people, but really you hurt yourself the most, right? And you're 36, and you can't do that to people. And I hope you don't. And we kind of feel a little bit paternal, like we were joking with you once, Mom and Daddy won't break up and all that. Well, any advice as a man to her?
Stay true to yourself. Be honest. Don't tell stories to hurt people.
I think just being truthful, because true to yourself, well, this may be who she is. Maybe I think she could do better. Right?
Yeah.
And listen, right now I'm not so sure if you're not using Torah like you used hormones, and I'm not so sure if you're using Judaism like you used to the transition. And John, you're somebody who's not Jewish, but you're interested. Do you like what she's doing?
No.
It hurts. And, Shavuot is coming up, and I hope that you consider at least apologizing to him. You owe him an apology. Me, I'll have to work on forgiving you on my own, but do you think that I would ever let her close to me or anyone ever again?
No.
So it's not about that. Do you think it was appropriate that she blocked me everywhere and is giving the world the sense that I did something wrong? You're being a mean girl. And I'll tell you this much, I can guarantee you that's not something... Would a guy ever behave that way?
No.
No.
So at least with somebody with some decency. I mean, I'm sure there are guys out there that probably would act that way, but not a decent person.
So if she wants to tap into her masculine side and a side that, is attracted to women, any advice from somebody who's sensitive and but also a man, what would you say?
I would say you need to find yourself before you can find somebody else.
And I think you need to find yourself in your own skin. And I know now you've declared that you are bisexual, which a few minutes ago, you always said you were, but you were not entertaining that. And I don't really know what that means other than to say, look, you like hanging out with guys. That's good. I'm a guy's girl, right? Hanging out with guys is very different than hanging out with girls who are kind of more guy-like, because then I think your attraction there is just more narcissistic than anything. So be careful with that, because you really hurt us. And next time, you could end up really, really hurting somebody. And there would be no lesson. And you're on a bad track. And you are incredibly talented. But you're also kind of mean. You seem to be enjoying being judgmental and all of that. And frankly, there's enough of that in queer culture. And I was told by somebody that you reminded them of Iago. And I explained to him who that was. Would you agree that he's an accurate description of what she did? Trying to ruin a relationship just because she could, and she felt that it was What?
Yeah.
But your interpretation of the truth. And you and I had many conversations. When you talk to a guy, it's bro code, right? It stays in the vault. A dude would never do that to you, right? Never. So frankly, I hope for your sake you find a way through this, because you are far less weak than you think. And I think than anyone thinks. You're incredibly strong, but you're incredibly self-indulgent. Right? So, over and out. And I think we should put this up on YouTube and let her see it, if she eventually ever does. And hopefully she will. Why not, right? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think so.
You think so?
Make it a private for her.
Hmm.
I don't think other people should be watching it.
Well, how about this? I'll make it private and have it sent to her. If she doesn't watch it, then I will make it public so that other people know to be careful of her. Agreed?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, today is Saturday, July, I think 6th, right? And
June.
Or June rather.
June
6th.
8th.
June 8th, sorry. Our wedding's still or elopement, whatever. June. And okay. So I think I want to make sure that this is all taken care of before my birthday. So if in 48 hours from now you've not seen it, I'll just make it public and I'll leave it up, because it's not about gossip. It's about the fact that other people need to know what you're capable of, because obviously you're not capable of. And I'm sure you'll deal with it after that, right? And I'm sure that no one is their worst moment, right? But what you did was, look, I meant it when I said that I really, really cared about you and looked at you as family. And I wish that I could just say, whatever happens, whatever other lives you touch, just let it go, because I'm the most important. But I don't do that, I'm afraid. And you knew that. So, yeah, maybe this was a cry for help. But I'll tell you, I don't trust that you'll look, but I am giving you that ultimatum. And I'll make sure it's given to you, that you know that. And all you would need to do is shoot John a text and let him know. And you know he's a man of few words, so you won't have to hear anything. Or write us an email. Or just say the minimum necessary to know that you heard us. And that way you won't realize that hurting people, if I had upset you in any way, nothing I could have done justified any of this. Nothing. But yes, our quote-unquote relationship is very much over, whatever that means to you. And I'm taking it very well, all things considered. And may you never have this happen to you when your wedding day is approaching. And may you find someone who is as amazing as John. I love you.
Love you.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Any last words to her?
Apologize to the both of us.
We would appreciate it.